Take a bunch of cliched characters, write up some bizarre storylines, throw them into a mediocre dodgeball game, and slap on a price that's about 6 times higher than it's really worth. That's basically the philosophy at work in Pirates vs. Ninjas Dodgeball. And if you weren't aware of it, yes, this game is a real thing. Released in 2009 for the Nintendo Wii, Pirates vs. Ninjas Dodgeball is a generic little game in just about every way, but the worst thing about it may actually be the manner in which the game arrived on Wii. This was originally released as a $15 downloadable title on Xbox Live, but when South Peak Games picked it up for a retail release on the Wii, they jacked up the price to $29.99. Now, I'm not a math guy, but isn't that... I mean, that's like twice the cost, and what's worse, it was twice the cost for what is basically a downgraded, low-res port of what was a crappy game to begin with. Of course now, I mean, this thing costs like $5 new on Amazon, but that's no excuse for the thievery this game so boldly perpetrated upon its release. And then again, I mean, that said, what else would you expect from Pirates? Oh, and ninjas, and zombies, and aliens, and vampires, and that's the point of the game. Pirates vs. Ninjas hopes you'll think seeing all these characters playing a game of dodgeball will make you laugh. This game, I mean, at least from what I can tell, is all about the humor of the premise. But unfortunately, combining those two things stopped being funny sometime during the Bush administration, and basing a game on that, well, the results are every bit as shallow and fleeting as the joke upon which they're based. So in terms of its gameplay, Pirates vs. Ninjas is a dodgeball game kinda similar to the classic NES game, Super Dodgeball. You have to hammer your opponents with dodgeballs until their health drains, and once you've knocked every last member of the other team unconscious, you win the match. I'm pretty sure that's not how it's written in the rulebook, but whatever, this game sucks anyway. And speaking of Super Dodgeball similarities, there are a few different match types throughout this game. One is a no-throws barred free-for-all, not unlike the beanball mode from Super Dodgeball. And the other is a slightly more traditional game, again functionally similar to its Super Dodgeball counterpart. The only difference is that legendary NES classic still plays way better than Pirates vs. Ninjas. Now, there is a bit of variety to what you can do. You can throw slower with more accuracy, you can sacrifice accuracy for speed, and you can even attack your opponents with melee attacks to set them up for a dodgeball to the face. And I've heard that dodging balls is as simple as dodging wrenches, but I mean, dodging swords, that's just ridiculous. The problem with all that is that the gameplay is so slow and so simple that only the simplest moves are actually necessary. There just isn't enough stuff happening to warrant anything more than the most basic approach, and even though the game controls pretty well, it gets boring really quickly. There's also the matter of presentation and polish. That's two areas in which the game clearly deflates. I mean, it really feels like some low-poly relic of the late N64 era. And the textures are blurry, the colors are bland. This is just an awful-looking game, and yet somehow, the ugliest part of Pirates vs. Ninjas is its writing. I mean, the story mode with the pirates, it's based on a love story. Who comes up with this? I'm serious, I'm asking. Who comes up with this stuff? And really, that's all you need to know about this game. It's just awful. There is a cameo appearance by characters from the awesome Wii platformer Mushroom Men, but even they can't save Pirates vs. Ninjas Dodgeball, a game with lots of characters and yet no character.